but because of engine limitations, the range was only 750 meters, and there was no min range for IS or Clan. There's just all LRMs work the same. So what you could do is you could boat LRMs on something, and that was viable, because if someone tried to brawl you, you could just alpha them in the face and it would still damage them. So you could get like an Atlas and load it with triple LRM 20 and ammo, and that was it. That was your whole loadout, and it would work.
Huh. A Mech 4 thing I remember about missiles was the Vulture had the missile racks pointing up on top, but the cockpit was also at the very top of the mech, so you could just barely peek. And if you did it right, you could fire your missiles over the hill, and they could barely see you. And usually because of the angle and the way the terrain was set up, you wouldn't get shot.
Well, Mech 2 was kind of a clusterfuck because the engine limitations, the view range was not that much. Like, max view range was only around like 1,000 meters, and weapon range was 750 or less. So since everyone's sight range was low, every map was kind of just like a big brawl in the middle. It was like a clusterfuck, and everything worked. It was just like unloading on people. And armor values were tabletop. They were exactly tabletop cannon, so mechs would just melt. It was, the hitboxes were fucked. Like, it was hard to headshot stuff. It wouldn't work right, but you could still target CT or legs. So matches would be like 42 to 37 and shit. Mechs would just get annihilated.
Mech 3 was the best,
I unfortunately never got to play 3, but I've heard nothing but good shit about it.
I hear the most about the leg damage. So you couldn't armor legs, is that true?
No, you had a targeting computer. I'm pretty sure you remember that, right? So you had 1 and 3 were the legs, right? 4 and 6 were the arms, 5 was the center torso, 7 and 9 were the left and right torso. So it was like a little paper doll on your number pad. And you would say missiles hit only the left leg. And you would hit only the left leg. And
Oh,
like,
damn.
people, yeah.
Could you imagine the crime on this thing? They did that?
Yeah.
Well, Mech 3, yeah.
Yeah.
In Mech 3, weren't machine guns like super good? Like machine gun, you could boat them and they'd be viable.
They had this hack called the Sparkler hack. And it was a rapid fire PC.
Oh.
It would look like a spark flares. Just constantly.
Huh.
There's gotta be a free-to-play version of somewhere, like an abandoned.
You can just torrent it, man.
Well, it's not that.
It
I
doesn't
don't
even
think
run,
I
like
can...
I tried to install it a while ago, it wouldn't even
Yeah,
install on my PC.
you have to emulate MechWarrior, or I mean Windows 2000, I think, is what you have to emulate.
Someone made
That's
a
worth it,
Mech
yeah.
2 Titanium Edition all packaged in a nice EXE, so when all you had to do was click it, and it had DOSBox built in, so it would do everything for you. All you did was click and it would run.
I'm looking at this. I think I found it.
Like, up till like a year and a half, my brother and I would LAN, like someone would host a server, like there was one worldwide, and we got a good ping on it, so we'd play Mech 2, and we were like the only people ever on. Like, you could take XL engines in anything, because the way the hitboxes were, you pretty much were, if you popped the CT, you popped the side traces as well, and everything was tabletop armor, so like if you hit somebody huge in the center, they were dead anyway. So you would just take XL engines on Atlases and stuff, and it would live just as long. Oh, Death from Above, that's what I forgot. Death from Above was totally viable. You could bind the 2 main screens on your HUD to whatever you want, like rear camera, under camera, HUD display, and you could jump jet real high and stomp on people and Goomba stomp them. Just one-shot them.
Yep.
Like the Mad Cat was super good at it, because its leg hitboxes were big, so you would hit people first and you just stomp them.
Yeah, phase were funny in Mech 4 because it usually hurt both people, and both people would fall down.
In Mech 2, if you blew a mech's leg off, in the original Mech 2, you just stand there and you couldn't move, and you'd lose a leg and you'd be like a turret. But in Mercenaries, they added the thing where you could fall over, like on your back or on your face. But while that happened, you could still move. So you were like a guy moving around the ground and you'd be shooting all over like some wounded person in an action movie. And you can actually get kills that way. This is stupid.
Okay, I guess you can. Where did he play this? Oh, he can play it on Steam. Get my quarter free on Steam. It's a mod. I think it's a mod that lets you run it.
Nice.
What a fugly main menu, man.
Dude, it's 1999.
It's like an office workplace, like team building exercise thing. Synergy and you.
I just want to play their first player campaigns are some of the best first player campaigns ever made in MechWarrior. They were incredible. Very well made, very in depth.
Interesting.
The mech lab in Mech 3 looks pretty interesting. Is this tabletop canon?
It's tabletop accurate, yeah. No issues.
Yeah, I'm looking at like arm actuators and shit.
Yeah, it's complicated as fuck. One of the most complicated mech labs in the game ever.
Well, you actually put actuators in the arm?
Yeah. You had to
Damn.
do that. Otherwise you couldn't move your arm.
Huh.
You build a fucking mech, dude. It isn't like built for you halfway.
I mean, I
would
would actually download this.
I would just do it to where it would be kind of like arm lock now in MWO. Just take all the actuators off so it would be locked to torso, front load a big alpha, and then, you know, you're saving weight and slots.
Yeah, I mean, I play almost exclusively with arm lock on. I really like it.
Oh, this is one where you can squish people.
Yeah, check this out.
There's little people and you can step on them.
That's plus the
Bell
Pirate
cows and
Moon.
stuff.
That's plus the Pirate Moon expansion when they introduced the Gladiator. For the first time they called it the Executioner, but it's the same thing. Look at the fucking specs that it's recommended. Windows 98 2000 or XP, an Intel Pentium 200 megahertz, 64 megabytes of RAM, 8 megabytes graphics card memory, and 390 megabytes of free space. It's a Flash app, dude. Flash runs that now.
Mech 3 had some of those, some real Uggo tabletop-only mechs. Like, you never see these mechs in any other games or anything.
Yeah, like the Champion.
Yeah, like the Firefly, like, who gives a shit about that?
That's a Locust. It's the same thing, it's a Locust.
Like the Strider, like the fuggliest mech in existence. It's like a mailbox.
Well, Strider is the Cicada. The Cicada is the first version, then they rebuilt it for the Clan version and called it the Strider. It's literally the same mech. Same tonnage, everything. It's just got, I think, enhanced ECM and shit on it.
I don't think I've ever found anyone who likes the Cauldron Born.
Cauldron Board was good in that 4.
Acquired.
Looks like some kid put it together with Tinker Toys.
Yeah, I mean, definitely looked a little different. It was kind of a oddly shaped mech, but it did all right. It was a little bit light though. I mean, I like the heavy mechs. You know, 65 tons is a little bit light for me. You can make a pretty nasty brawler though. 2 clan LBX 20s, streaks.
Enemy base is being captured.
I missed the Wildcat actually. And of course I missed the Black Knight. But that's a given.
Can you imagine if the Annihilator were an MWO?
Yeah. Well, you know with Intersphere ACs, I'd really have to wonder about that.
Yeah, just like quad AC5, and then like a head energy, so maybe like you'd only have one slot, so I don't know, like a medium laser or something.
You have to run MechWarrior 3 on a Windows machine now. You have to run this program called CPU Grab, which underclocks your dual core processor and makes it run like 99% efficiency instead of 100, and that slows it down just enough to run the game.
Some of these old games, they have they're just built to fully optimize. They don't have a locked frame rate. They're just built to take whatever your computer throws at it. So if you boot it up, you'll have like 8,000 frames a second, and it's unplayable.
Yeah. So you have to underclock it, set the affinity, put it on one processor, and then underclock that processor dramatically.
Enemy base is being captured. Enemy base is being captured. Enemy base is being captured. Enemy base is being captured.
No one's leeching that. I guess that one doesn't work.
Yeah, it happens sometimes. You find some really cool game you're into, and you're like, oh cool, a torrent. And then there's no one seeding or leeching, and the last time anyone talked about it was like 3 years ago, and you're just like, well, fuck.
There's one that's working for Pirate Bay.